Hello everyone, hello, thanks for waiting. Technical issues again, but now we reinstalled everything, it's good to go. Thank you. Let me sit here. And thanks for Sifu joining us.
Sifu waves wildly.
Crowd goes wild too, I'm sure. So this one is, topic today is I-Ching. Yep, that's an I. In Chinese, it's actually called I-Ching. I-Ching is written like that. I-Ching. So if Ching's watching this, we're talking about him. Okay, Jing. I will start with Jing first. Jing, it means classic, means something that does not change, which means like a sutra. It means like a constant, or it just means a law of constant. So that's why it's called Jing. So that's why it's called a sutra. A sutra is when we can follow it and it can help us or get to the good place. So that's why it's the Jing, and this is called I. I means changing, means adapting, means evolving, it means flowing, it means constant improving. That's what I means.
I'm not sure if it looks like a chair or an octopus.
Yeah.
Is it a chair?
No. The script of it, if we were to break it apart, this is like a box.
Yeah, that's the back of the chair.
Yeah, back of the chair.
Yeah, I can see 4 legs.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, like that, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, I see. Well, so if we were to, I guess I'll try to use my understanding of why it's like that. So this, imagine it like just like a dot or a box or a figure, and you can choose different pathways. You can change to that, you can change to that, you can change to that, you can even change to that.
So what does E mean again?
E, it means change.
Change.
Yes, or if you say evolution or adapting or morphing into something new, which just means a flow as well, a flowing change. Yeah, I'll just check if the looks okay on there. Yep, still clear, still clear. So yeah, so this is meaning something that changed, and this means something that never changed. So what does it mean when it's together? It means the way of something, how it works, or the way of how things should progress. So that's why I-Ching is a very useful tool in ancient Chinese philosophy about how nature works and how we should live with nature. But unfortunately, through the millennia, this knowledge has been misinterpreted and end up being more utilized by like fortune tellers or like people in the emperor to predict the future, just by looking at seeing how things evolve or seeing how things change, then that's how they can use it to predict the outcome. So it's very logical, but we were fortunate that because we are learning the Tao is exactly talking about the laws of nature, the order of nature. So Jing, so this side, this character, this is like a thread, like in Chinese character. This is the radical for like thread or cloth or material that you can, like fabric or fiber, because it's, as you know, the sutra or the books, they're all written on paper or fibrous matter. Or so this other side actually is symbolized for like the plant's stem, the plant's stem. So you can think of it like a jack and a beanstalk, where that stalk keeps.
A vine.
Thank you. Fine. Yes, this can be better understood as the vine. So, but using Jack in the Beanstalk, supposedly Jack climbs up to another world or
another realm,
another palace, another residence. So same with if we use thank you. Using the sutra, like a written sutra. The written sutra contains the vines of how we can climb back home as well. That's the analogy. That's the way I can describe the word if we were to break it apart to understand why this was written like that. So, I-Ching is almost, I guess, a science that is like a 1 and 0. Like all the things in the binary world or in this material world is all binary, I guess. Yin and yang, male and female, plus and minus, all these are the duality world. But as we remember, Tao is from 0, Tao is back to the origin. So, but knowing the 1s and 0s can help us find back the original state. Or I guess instead of using 1 and 0, we can say yin and yang. From understanding the yin and yang and the complexity and the interaction, we should be able to find back that center point. So it starts off with two things, like yin is the broken up one, yang is the continuous one. They just use the line. So it was first, according to Chinese records, they say the first patriarch, Fu Xi, so 3,500 years ago. So Fu Xi, so that's more like a legend goes that he was one day at the riverside, maybe it's the Yellow River or Yangtze River, and he saw there was a turtle that swam ashore. On the turtle's back, the shell, so he noticed there are some lines on the turtle shell in a sort of ordered pattern, structured pattern. So that's when he came up with this understanding that there's a method of describing Tao using just simply these two type of combinations of lines. So if we were to say like this is yang, and then this is yin. So then they can sort of describe everything we see with the naked eye about this material world as a combination of yin and yang. Yeah, but more importantly, as time moved on, the most important figure in history was Confucius. Confucius was the one who wanted to tell people more about the application and tell people about why this knowledge came about. Because anything, if it's not useful, it's not really beneficial to people, but it's passed down because it is useful to help people use it as a way to find our roots, find our source. So originally it was only 8. There was only 8 symbols. So it was only from three lines. So it's in groups of 3 originally, and there was only 8 type of combinations you can get from it. So, but as the development of this goes, they can make it become 6, like to the power of 6. So you can have that. Yeah. So
I see.
Yeah.
So that would be 3 squared minus 1.
3 squared minus 1. Oh. Oh. 3 is 27, is it? Minus 1 is 26? Sorry. I'm not good with
3 is 9.
Yeah.
Minus 1, 8.
8.
It gives you your combinations.
Combinations, yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, so if we were to look at it, like I should find another color. Yeah, I hope this one will show a better. No, it doesn't. Let me look at blue. No. Okay, I'll draw it again. So remember how we have this combination of three lines represents the heaven, or we say the upper realm. And then the three broken ones represents the opposite, which is the earth, or the hell, or you can say it's the under realm. So the upper and the under. So if this means the upper one, they call this yang, or the most positive. And this one is yin, it's the most negative, like in terms of polarity. So, but if we were to say, like, I guess, if we were to extrapolate that, we may be able to say good and bad, or safety and not safety. I think in Chinese explanation, they don't really say good and bad. They just say whether it's safe or it's not so safe. So that is a more objective way of explaining nature, because in nature there's not really a sense of good or bad. Everything is neutral in nature, but it could be a dangerous thing for us. So we, on our human representation, we can call it not so safe. So, so if this is yang, and then they can add to it. So that's where the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But if it's just on its own, it's the 1, 2, 3. So this one, as we say, is for like the upper limit. We call, like, say, heaven. That's called Tian. Tian, and this is the earth, like the land, is Di. Yeah, so Di and Tian. So the famous Chinese analogy is they refer to this country or the territory as everything under the sky. Tian Sha. So if you were the king or the emperor, then you would own the Tian Sha. You would own anything under the sky. If you were the emperor, then you will be called the son of heaven. They will call him Tianzi. So Tian, why is it so important? Was because Tian is the most profound, the most profound entity. Like if we were to look at the visible, the visible world, if we were to look at a visible world, it is. I mean, if we were to look at the visible Earth, it's still limited in space and volume. But if we were to look at the observable universe, like this upper limit, it's vast and unimaginably immeasurable. So that's why in the Chinese philosophy they look at Tian as anything that is most abundant, or the most prosperous, or the most they say most complete, the most complete state. So, but Earth, the Earth, this one, Earth, is more related to us now that we are on this planet to live, and all our interactions are closely related to D. So, if we were to look at the combination, to see that they developed the 64, so I can use a few of the quite interesting ones that we can talk about and see the thinking behind, and we can see why they come up with that. So one of them is this one. Trying to find. Oh yes, so water. I'll talk about water first. This one is water. I'll draw it here. So this is the first one is the broken, the middle is the full one, and then the last one is broken one again. This is like water, because if we were to imagine it, it's like the flowing water, the river flowing. So I think that's where that pictogram comes from. Yes. So if we look at the combination, there's one of them which is I'm trying to find the one on here. This one is water, and then this one. Oh, I should have bookmarked it. No, I don't know where I made the notes. Okay, wait. I'll talk about another one first. This one is the thunder. This particular one is the thunder. Yeah. So you can sort of see the original three-tiered system is explaining the most basic elements, the most basic phenomenon. But when we combine these basic phenomenons, you can see where that six-tier pattern comes in. So let's find. I want to find.
Are you saying water has a connection to thunder?
Oh, very true, very true. So what that means is when you have thunder, it's most likely there are rains.
Mm.
Yeah. So the ancient people observed that before there was rain, there was probably thunder first. So out of the sequence, or the 64 sequence, heaven comes first, the earth comes second, and then I think thunder was third, and then I can put it up in a table to help explain, but because it's very big topic, but I think it's good that we can pick some bits and pieces for a start.
Sure.
Sure.
I've been looking at it for decades.
Oh, okay. Yeah. In the future, if we were able to ask a master or any other lecturers from Taiwan, they're very knowledgeable. They may be able to share with us more insights and stories as well.
Mm.
Yeah, but I think what I'm trying to throw onto the table is using these topics to relate to how we can cultivate well, how we can live better days. Yeah. So I've got a most important hexagram. So I'm trying to find. I don't have the Chinese table, otherwise it will be quicker. I have to go through which one because I forgot to bookmark. Okay. This one. Oh. It didn't show up. Come on. Oh, I didn't know it didn't show up on here. It's only got the names of it. Come on, load. Okay, I'll have to regroup.
Can you relate this stuff to martial arts?
Definitely.
You? Personally?
Oh, yes. So remember you were talking about like the yin and yang always is intertwined, like yin move, yang move, yin move, yang move. So what that was trying to say is when you have everything like say one-sided, then it's imbalanced. So either of these, they are the extremes, but they are never going to create any outcomes. Like if there was only the like atmosphere or the stratosphere, but not the Earth part, then there won't be life. If there was only the Earth part, but not protection from the atmosphere and the stratosphere, we won't get life either. So it always has to be a combination. So that's why in martial arts, a attacking move often is followed by a deflecting move. Mm-hmm. A deflecting move then follows through with an attacking move. Mm-hmm. So that's, I think, the yin and yang is volleying to give it flexibility, give it strength, and give it that
just like push hands.
Push hands.
And that is called in Chinese
Toy soy. Okay. Toy soy, yes. Toy soy. Yeah, toy soy, yeah, toy soy. The like in Chinese writing, how they use the calligraphy tip. So even if it was just like a horizontal line, meaning one, if we were to use the calligraphy tip, we always flick it that way first. And when we finish, we flick it back the other way to complete that chunky, thick stroke. If we were to do a splat and a split, this is a character for human, but if we were using brush stroke, we always flick it up a little and then swing it down and finish up with a flick the other way, so it completes the brush tip to make it more prominent in the brush. So yeah. So yin and yang always flows after one another. So, and that's why I want to introduce that as well with martial arts, because there's inner martial arts and external martial arts. So that's why, as you may recall, Great Grandmaster Wang Shuxin or Grandmaster Wang Fulai always emphasize on the Tao aspect, because the higher your physical achievement, you should also have a deeper Tao basis, and that way you won't get into trouble or you won't get into unnecessary turmoils that puts the practice in jeopardy or puts the name in tarnish.
Yeah, I believe the Grandmaster's been saying that lately. Yeah, and it's very difficult for us white honkies to comprehend.
Well, I mean,
we're working.
It's I think because at the end of the day, because we still live in I guess a material world, so whatever works. Whatever is obviously a result, someone gets hit and they fall down, that is a obvious result. So I think that's why unfortunate reality is people only see the results. But if we were to able to bring the theory back or bring the ultimate result back, then it can be a happy ending, like a better outcome, not a short result that they fall down because of the hit, but a big happy outcome. Like if you exchange martial arts and you both have the mutual respect, and then you can work as teams or friends to promote martial arts or the Tao behind it, that's more of a better outcome. So that's why I think Great Grandmaster always mentioned, like, do not start any fights or do not allow yourself to get into any fights in the name of Chengming. And I think these are the what they call virtues of martial arts. Mm-hmm. The virtues is from your caliber, your ability to win, but you're not the one who starts the fight. Like he said, I believe you also shared that with me. Like he said, we're not afraid of challenges. but we are not the one to stir up the challenge. Sort of.
Yes, internal kung fu is a defensive art.
Mm.
It's not one for attacking.
Yep.
If we get attacked, we defend.
Yep. That's it. Yeah.
There's no real attacking moves.
True.
Because everything starts with a lu.
Yes.
G.
The split.
Yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything is to protect us first, and once our basics are secured, then we can exert what we can. So I think that's why luckily enough, our school of martial arts is very kind to the body and not wearing out our physique. Yeah, so we can preserve our health first and then exert our force rather than. I shouldn't use the example of your previous martial arts form, but yeah, I wouldn't name it, but but the that one is very. You were saying it's very toxic to the health part because they do not preserve their chi first. They just fully exert. So when you fully exert, you deplete your chi or you deplete your essence of life.
Yeah. I found that the more people jump around and scream and yell, the less they know.
Yeah, because I think from Great Grandmaster Wang Shuqin, when he just did one punch, he has generated all the chi and just focused all the chi or direct all the chi back in one impact point. But as soon as people like yell or like scream, and the energy is already released through other means, so they never get to channel in enough or as much energy as they could have through that impact. Yeah. So I think everything in the martial arts system actually mimics nature. So that's why you always mention the softly nature, natural. It's the only way to learn. Yeah, because the nature it goes on indefinitely on its own good projection. But if we force ourselves to do something that is out of the nature or out of the natural way, we are accelerating to meet our end. Is that is there an idiom that fits? I'm thinking that there's something too haste, something too much haste, too much waste, or
haste makes waste.
Haste makes waste. Okay, yeah. So if we in Chinese, they also use the example like how they were agricultural community. So they say you have to wait for the sprouts, the seed to sprout. If you don't wait for it and you just, or if they have the shoots, but you're trying to lift it out of the soil so it looks taller or bigger, you're killing its roots and it will die anyway. So I think you have to give that time for nature to do its part, sort of thing. So I think when it comes to martial arts, my understanding now is that if you don't get that time to do the basic stuff, then when it comes to like emergency situations, we won't be able to put any application in. Yeah, so that's something I really appreciate you giving me the chance to build up the solid foundation. So I will get the good solid foundation so that when it comes to applications, it will be applicable. Because at the end, I mean, unfortunately, for what we see is that a lot of the modern age, everything is talking about like speed and talking about all these how should I put it? They're talking all these about like it's not so much an art anymore. It's very mechanically biased towards a rigid robotic style. Yeah. But at the end, it's all should go back to an art form in order for it to flourish better.
Be like water.
Yeah, be water. Yeah, be water is able to. Water is. We also talk many times about the 8 types of good deeds, the good virtues of water, like how it always flows very humbly, how it is always never gives up, always finds a way through, and always powerful when it's grouped together. And even if it's a drip, give it time, it can create a hole in the rocks. So, and it takes away all the pollutants. If you just wash the dirt but you filter it, the water can go back to the most pure state. So it joins in or it blends in, but it never loses its integrity or tarnishes its own purity. So yeah, I think from the I-Ching, if we can look at it from a Tai Chi perspective, yin and yang perspective, then it can really help our mindset and our application as well. Yeah, I think if we were able to put this into a context of work or in the real world, yeah, it's probably more straight. It's probably more evident, like in the workplace, if someone is very like overpowering or very authoritative, then we can use a more subtle, a more low-profile way to avoid a direct contact and to wear out their chi. Then we can not attack but neutralize the issue, the situation. Yeah, so I think that's what I-Ching is trying to say. And out of all the 64 of them, I think the last one is called unfinished business. Yeah, the last one, like when we look at like a clock, we say it starts and it doesn't have an end. So when it is 12 o'clock and it starts a new cycle, it just keeps going. So once something has started, it doesn't really goes to an end. So just like time, yeah, time really wouldn't have an end. Once it has started, then it will not have an end. If it hasn't started, there's nothing there. But once it has started, it probably wouldn't go to an end. So the last of it, the 64th one, is called unfinished business. So it doesn't really need to go back to like all complete state, but it just means within that unfinished one, we've already done all the good work. Yeah, we've already made all the good progress so that we're ready for the next cycle. Yeah, so I think in the Xingyi, is it Xingyi? That the different forms as well. Once you finish one, you can move on to the next one, and it's not like in Tai Chi you have that 100, and then when you finish the 100, you back to the first one. But I think what you were saying before, Xingyi, there's many Xingyi forms. Yeah, so it's not thinking as a start to finish. It's a non-stop rotational thing. Yeah.
Many forms, many weapons. Likewise the same.
Yes. Oh, Bagua, exactly. The 8. The 8, the Bagua is exactly what I-Ching, yeah, where that is from I-Ching. Bagua is I think the most common tool people use to do fortune telling. The Bagua.
Yep.
Yeah, because it has the directions, and then it's got the most basic elements.
Yep.
So yeah. So sorry, I should have checked whether I got this printed or at least.
Bagua, are they trigrams or
yes,
hexagrams?
Trigrams. Yeah.
So there's 8 sets of 3.
Yes. 8 trigrams.
Yep.
And then 64 hexagrams. Yeah, because 8 times 8
Yeah,
succeeds.
but on the actual Bagua
Oh.
sign thing, you know, the 8-sided thing.
Yes, yeah, there should be the three lines. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll try and see if there's something I've wrote before. Oh, sorry, this one is water, and the opposite is fire. So fire looks like this. So see the middle one and the 1 and 3. They're
Opposite, yeah.
opposite. So this one is fire.
Yeah.
Yes. So I guess if we were to think of the water flowing that way, then fire is the smoke goes up sort of thing. So that's why the fire. So like another way to look at it is you can see if this is yang, this is the visible part, the visible part, and then there's the invisible part. Thinking of if we were to look at fire, and if fire is like, very awkward drawing of fire. Yeah, like how there's always a visible part, but the invisible part is where the heat is most intense. Yeah. So the middle part, yeah. Like if we were to say this is yang and this is yin, this is plus, this is minus, or this is good, this is bad, this is creation, this is destruction, then it's the inside that's most damaging. Yeah. Same with water. Water, the inside of water, when it's most concentrated, is the most powerful. Yeah. Like a river is the middle of the river that's most deepest or contains the most water.
Like Hooker Falls in New Zealand.
Oh, is it North Island?
North.
Oh.
And I think Lake Taupo exits through Hooker Falls.
Oh, wow. Taupo, yeah, I've passed Taupo, I think once, on the train. I did catch a train to Wellington when I was like, yes, 8 years old, I think. Yeah.
But you was cold.
Oh, I can't remember now. It's too long ago.
Why Wellington?
I think that was like in school holidays or something, and then I think mom and dad are visiting, and they were saying, "Well, if you want, you can choose whether you want to fly to Christchurch for a weekend or something." But I thought like, I don't, I haven't been to Wellington, or I want to catch a train. I prefer trains back then. So we caught the train.
Yeah, they're pretty slow trains, eh?
Yeah, 10 hours.
Yeah. It's faster than a car.
Oh, well, yeah, but all I could ever remember of that train was how bumpy in the toilet.
Oh, really?
It was because of the tracks and things. In the bathroom it's quite hard to use the bathroom. That's all I can remember from that train ride. But we were at on the train instead of flying. So I've never been to the South Island.
Oh, really?
Yeah, never. Hopefully one day we'll go there.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's Lake Taupo. I'll Google Lake Taupo again, see what it's like nowadays.
We will discuss Hooker Falls afterwards.
All right. Yeah. So we can look at the nature. Always has lots of signs, or I guess way it's telling us how we should also look at our life or how to approach life. So I think maybe if people can learn more about nature, maybe we can be less influenced by the material world side of things. All these problems of the material world is all man-made issues. So if we can look back in nature, learn from nature, maybe not only we can let go of the man-made issues, maybe we can also find a way to balance out the impacts of the man-made issues. Yeah. So the thunder. Oh yes, I think one of the reason it was written or drawn like that, because this was the in the ancient times, it's all like an agricultural time, and winter was when everything comes to a hibernation mode, and life, I guess, came to probably not a complete stop, but a very slowing stage in winter. And it was the spring thunder that wakes up all the animals and wakes up all the of the world. Yeah. So this means the spring or the science of life is buried underground, covered by layers of snow, or covered by the winter. So when it starts to make that thunder, then all the hibernating animals will wake up, and then spring starts and roam the world again. And that's when you get the rain back. When the thunder happens and there are the storms, and then the rain washes back, so the new spring cycle starts. So yeah. So I think there's another one that we can touch on as well. Yeah, we can see. All these have very applicable, very good applications if we can. Like good analogies and good stories. Yeah, so maybe I can. Put a better one. Oh, this one. Okay, found it. Okay, so this one is the mountain. Maybe I'll draw it here. This one means mountain. Mountain.
Opposite of thunder.
Yes, opposite of thunder. So when looking at the this is like the earth, like land. So the land is very tall. So like the mountains are very tall. And then when it gets tall enough, it's still under the sky. So mountain is that one is when it was the trigram. And the one I wanted to touch on is this one is it didn't show up. But it was the hexagram for humbleness. Yeah, humbleness is when the I think I'll have to check on this. And then this one. Okay, I think this. Can we see it on the screen? Okay, good. So I think this was humbleness because this is the earth, and this is a mountain. So a big mountain is still underneath the earth. So like think of it like you are very powerful already, but you still hide away to not let your powerfulness be showing off, sort of thing.
Who wrote these things, Kenny?
So Fu Xi was the first, I guess, notable person, like the first patriarch in the Tao lineage as well.
First patriarch in the Tao lineage. Okay. And that was 3,000 years ago.
3,500 or roughly.
1500 BC?
Yes, roughly 1500 BC.
And when was Buddha?
Shakyamuni Buddha was about 2,500 years.
Wow, so 1,000 years before Shakyamuni.
Yeah.
They were writing this Tao philosophy.
Yeah. So I think according to the Tao lineage, like Shakyamuni Buddha and Lao Tzu are very close to each other in time. Like probably Lao Tzu the
Yeah.
Dao De Jing, yeah. So
Yeah.
he, according to history, he rode on the oxen facing backwards and rode all the way west. So our interpretation was, yeah, Lao Tzu went westward towards India and Nepal to lay down the foundations for Tao teachings. Yeah. So yeah, that's the he is the first emperor as well. Like in Chinese history, yeah, they don't normally use the word emperor for until the Qin dynasty, like this one, Qin, Qin, like the one who built the first notable Great Wall, that guy. Yeah, the tyrant. Yeah, but before him, all the like leaders or the tribal lords or the tribal leaders, they all should be the ones that lead with a compassionate, benevolent character. Yeah, so yeah, it is very interesting of these like mythology stories, but they are, I guess, they are real persons, I'm sure. But it's just when the recordings of history only write down the more notable lessons rather than the sequence of events. They write down more about the what's that called, the 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 learning aspect of it. Yeah. So that's why, yeah, all these knowledge supposedly is more to direct people back to their inside. So when we know our spirit, then we can look at the world, and then we can know where we stand, know our position, know our interaction. Yeah. So he is the first one, I think, to sort of understand there's a pattern in nature, or there's a mathematical connection to everything in nature, and then you just write it down so that we in the future days can look at that to remind ourselves of our way of being. Yeah, so I think all from then on, then all these like martial arts or literature or all these like Chinese character, all these writing or medicine or structural housing, all these start to form. Yeah, all based on I-Ching. So like the Chinese architecture focus a lot on the harmonics of yin and yang. People might not understand and thinking as feng shui as like a superstition, but I think it's all back to a scientific interpretation of nature. Yeah, so whether the sunlight and the breeze and where the waste treated, and then where the clean water comes into the house, I think that's what feng shui originally means. Yeah, feng is the wind, shui is water. So if the wind and the water are all working to our favor, then we have a comfortable life. Yeah. So if as our best understanding, yeah, if sanitation is not working well, then we have a miserable time in the house. So yeah. So that's why I said, and that's why like so everything has a duality side. So like in the Western advancement, we have got great water engineers or aquatic engineers, and brings us a lot of sanitation benefits. So that's very, very, very important. So, but if we were to look at from the design aspect or the philosophical side, it actually matches up. Yeah, it all matches up pretty well. So if we were to treat the waste, like our waste treatment are all heading out at the port, all away from where residential areas are. So it's very, very feng shui, according to feng shui. as
Yeah,
well.
I don't think they pump any septic waste down. I think it's all treated before it gets discharged.
Yeah.
They say you can drink the stuff.
Yes.
It certainly tastes like some of the water I've been drinking.
Because in nature, like everything rejuvenates itself. Like how if we got buried, then ashes to ashes, so dust to dust, we all return the nutrients back to the soil, and the soil is actually more fertile when there are blood and bones decaying or decomposing in it. So I think like the water, even was the stale water in I-Ching, I think there was a hexagram that describes where you put the water. So I think when you treat the water properly, the earth should rejuvenate itself, and also with the what's the convection cycle, is it, where the water is evaporated and then comes as rain? Yeah. So in Chinese understanding, like this, when it's in this world, there's always this is ground. Yep, this is ground. So there's always a system there, and there's always a system here. So it's always very balanced. So I think that's where the 8, or if you look at it sideways, is infinity. So they want to understand nature as a never-ending process of life and rejuvenating life. So so that's why they have lots of understanding about the system above us and the system below us. So, and in Chinese, the water is all like from the wells. They don't have, before they have tap, then they all have to take the water from the well. So obviously it's very unfeasible now in a city-based living way, but I guess go back a couple of hundred years ago or thousands of years ago, they lived in smaller farming communities, and the well is the town center. And the well is where people have to work hard to retrieve the water so they don't spill or waste so much water like we do nowadays. So the water, they use the story of like water is like a virtue, like it benefits people, but you have to keep using it to help others. Just like the water well has to keep drawing the water so the underground water gets replenished. If the well is always stagnant, then the stale water will make the whole underground system dying. So so the Chinese understanding from looking at a well and water is saying that humans should always be doing our best and kindness to help others. If we can't contribute to this society, then we are just as a dead, walking dead. We're just as useless or dying.
I ran into a monk the other day.
Wow, cool.
Yeah. Cool. Might have been last Thursday.
Oh.
But he was a Buddhist monk, and he says he does nothing all day.
Yep.
Does nothing. He doesn't cook, doesn't do anything. So would you say he's not contributing?
There's obviously his occupation is the monk occupation. So our understanding is that remember we have our I-Kuan logo, the one you're wearing on your hat now, has the 3 colors, right?
Yep.
The cyan color and the red color and the white color in the middle. So our understanding was in the past period, because life was filled with hardship, the way to get people to learn that there is a spiritual world, not only a material world, so to let go of the material world is to become a monk where they do nothing. to disconnect from the material world, so they get a chance to focus on the spiritual world. But now it is the time of the white period, the white period, and we get the chance to cultivate, regardless of we're a monk or not. We can cultivate Tao. We receive the Tao in all walks of life with the affinity. Then there's not necessarily a need anymore to be a monk. But he is still contributing to society if he is able to show people the mindfulness.
Isn't that the opposite of what you were saying?
Like it's just a different occupation. So yeah, so
yeah, he says he never goes out. He just stays inside all day long and does nothing.
Yeah,
doesn't cook.
Yeah,
he said he eats whatever he's given. If it's meat, he eats it. The only precept about that is not killing.
Yeah, not killing.
As long as you don't kill it yourself, he says.
So
he's a Theravada Buddhist.
Oh, yeah, Theravada, is it Theravada? Or like I know that word, but I just can't say it well. Like there's Mahayana, mainly like in the East Asian, and then the South Asian, more like the Theravada, the word you were saying before. So we say that they're all part of the overall scope of things, but our understanding is, because we also know the timing of things, that's why we can do a bit more, or we can say we can do a bit more in terms of achieving a better result for us. Like say for example, we can now enjoy all day breakfast, but we really know an all day breakfast is not suitable if you were to host a banquet for your guests. So it's not an issue to go out and eat brekkie food even at nighttime. Was like in Taiwan, you go out and 2 a.m. you can still eat breakfast type of food. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, but I think in generally speaking, now you have to do more like timely cultivation method. So our timely cultivation method is, like we were understanding, is the application side. Yeah, so being a monk is good already. It's very, very good by detaching from the material thing.
Yeah.
But in Buddhism understanding as well, remember we learned briefly about the 4 levels of enlightenment. Like there was Arahant, there was Petraya Buddha, Bodhisattva, and the top was Buddhahood. So we come from Buddhahood, so we should go back to Buddhahood. So the first level of not needing to reincarnate is the Arahant. Arahant level is what, like monks can make their mind so pure. When their mind is so pure and detached from all the material desires, they are cancelling out, or they are neutralizing their karmic connection. So when there's no debt owing, then it's like you can migrate to a new country without an old debt. If we are still carrying on an old debt, then obviously our creditors won't let us move to a new country. So similar analogy. But luckily now, because it is so hard to repay all the different debts we had in the past, so that's why the Qigong Buddha give us a chance first. The heavens give us a chance first. We get a chance to collect our boarding pass first, and then we'll work towards to qualify to be boarding. That's the analogy. Yeah, but the monks are very, very advanced as well, because the courage to disconnect from the material world is already quite challenging. It is not easy, but if we were to go back to the source, the Tao is about interacting, interoperations, and harmony within the interoperations. If we only stick with one side and not interact with others, so like we said before, it will still become lifeless. Yeah, the earth will need the sky will need the earth, so that everything can work. So monk can cultivate themselves, but once they are ready, they will also need to step out to help others. Maybe not this lifetime, but in all lifetimes forward, that's the ultimate Buddha level. Because Buddha didn't teach people to cultivate at home by themselves. Buddha spent 49 years talking about this whole thing as well. And if we were to say we are Buddhists, we are not saying we are learning about Buddhist things only. We need to actually do what Buddha did in order to be at the Buddha level. Similar, yeah, I think like if we were to drive a car, it's not just knowing which route the driving instructor taught us to drive, but if we know how to drive a car, theoretically you can drive on any given road because you know how to drive. But if a monk is only doing his part, that's like driving on the instructor's route only. Then if he were to put in a Logan Road or Ipswich Road that he's never driven on, then it may be problems then as well. I think that's without overcomplicating the topic. Yeah, but it's a very, very good question. Yeah, like a lot of the times, if we can balance both sides, that's why we can still have a family to cultivate, because the next generation still need a chance to come to this world to receive Tao. If none of us raise the family, then the society collapse and there won't be a chance for new spirits to come.
You'd better hurry up and do your duty then.
Oh, is there a question? Sorry. Okay, thank you. Oh, okay, no worries. Oh, cool. Oh, happy birthday, Robert. Happy birthday. Yes, Robert's birthday today. Nicole and Nicole's brother-in-law, Regina's husband. So happy birthday, Robert. Happy birthday. Have more cake. Yeah, so that's good. Yeah, hopefully. Oh, have we gone a bit over time? Sorry, kept over time. But I'll try and bring more stories as well. Yeah, in the future.
Cool. Because the Tao and the I-Ching, very interesting. Yeah, very interesting.
Thank you.
Especially from a Kung Fu perspective.
Yes. Yeah. So thank you. If you,
I don't think I've scratched on it yet.
No, I'm also learning after your footsteps. So we just bring more and more information and splash it on the board and have a good discussion. That's the purpose. Yeah. So it's not a teaching class at all. It's a dialogue session only. So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you. We'll see you shortly. Thank you. Thank you. Catch you soon. Thank you.
再见。
再见。